So you can probably see that I have a gutter problem here, and you might already be guessing what I'm about to do. You see it overflowing from up there. I'm gonna try to run that snake up there to clean out the leaves and stuff, and hopefully all the water will help wash it out, because man, this roof is a real pain. You see what I'm talking about? What the F? Now my son Aaron has got a phobia of chickens. Come on. Some of the hens that are, I don't know, a bit more aggressive can actually be quite mean. We don't keep roosters because they're just too loud. But there's one that's like his arch enemy. I gotta find it. Don't hit the chicken. I know you're scared, little dapping dude.
I want to go pee.
Is that the dap? Is that the dap dance?
Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
All right, I will, but you don't have to be afraid of them. Okay? Look. See? It's a pet chicken. Look, Aaron. See? That's sweet. That's how you be sweet. Okay, love it. Love. Good. That's how you be sweet. Okay, good. So you learn not to be afraid. Okay. Okay. Chicken doesn't want to leave. Okay, get off. Get off, please. It's probably because it's muddy. It's impossible to have grass with chickens in like a small space. We were trying to let them free range, but they end up shitting everywhere, and it's just a problem. But we do give them a lot of table scraps, and I mean, they will eat any leftover food. It doesn't matter what it is. It's a myth that they need grains and stuff. They do need grains, but it's a myth that they only eat grains. I mean, in fact, they love eating meat, which is kind of horrible, but they seem to need the protein. In my major, I learned that almost all animals are basically opportunistic. There's not really such thing as carnivore and herbivore. Those are basically useless categories because animals just don't fall into that, except for a few rare cases like polar bear and things like that. So the plan is going to be to take this section out, but I need to brace this first, and so I'm going to show you how to make pipe strap, nice straps. I mean, they look trashy, but they're not going to cut your hands. I run into this stuff like razor sharp, like razor wire all the time, and it shouldn't be that way. So let me show you. Okay, so we want to use pipe strap, but the problem with pipe strap is you go into the field and it's always, cut like this. It's got a bunch of fish hooks, and, it looks like that. You walk by it and all of a sudden you're like bleeding down your arm in a customer's home, right? So there is a better way to do this, probably even than the way that I'm showing. But this will at least be better than nothing. But one thing I like to do is take a little pair of Nippics, because these jaws are the same width, unlike needle nose that are more like a triangle. Because they're the same width, they make a really nice like fold. And that's important because if you get it off, like, you kind of want to line these up, see, because if you get it off, one of these corners is going to stick to the side and just really can catch you. But anyways, that's fairly good. I mean, it's better than nothing. Once this gets tied up against the brick, it's pretty hard to catch your hand. Okay, but that's a nice no cut edge right there. Now let me show you a few more tricks. Drill into the mortar, because you can get caulk tubes and you can get easy patches for this, but brick is hard to patch because obviously you got to try to match the color. So, but when you drill into the mortar, it's a lot of times like very loose. because it's crumbly, especially if it's old. Like, you know, this is real old stuff here. So when you go to put your Tapcon in, one thing you can do when you go to put your Tapcon in, and there are problems with this, I think especially over in Europe, where the fasteners themselves need to be fire rated. So a Tapcon in concrete is going to be much better in a fire situation than Tapcon that has like a zip tie holding it in, but this is like a non-critical application. So I'm just gonna put it in there, but I've been amazed at how well shoving a zip tie in there, because you spread them like that and then you just go right in there. All right, watch this. So you can hear that hammering. Now watch without the zip tie. See, it literally, like, I can take it in and out with my fingers. What I really want to know is why every pair of safety glasses pretty much sucks balls. So the lenses are like bulging. That, like, I feel like it distorts what I'm looking at. Shitty plastic. It, like, you know, I don't know, they're uncomfortable. They fall off my head all the time. So I went and just ordered, and I know this is not a good example because these are not safety glasses. And I think there's ways to make them, like you can put guards here. But look, I've got pretty good vision, but I got these at 0 prescription, and I've been wearing them because people just think they're glasses. And I mean, man, I've had so many close calls with my eyes lately. Like, I was moving a drum of chemicals. I mean, this is just scary shit. And it was a water treatment, a very high acid water treatment, and it sloshed because the thing was open. And, like, luckily it didn't hit my face, but like it came out of the bucket pretty forcefully. You know how, like, when they gurgle, like, poof, and then it just, and I was like, oh my God. And then I had a ceiling wire, like for hanging ceiling tiles. I needed to get to a VAV box that was really, really hard to get to, and I took that wire off. Well, I had set it up to the side, and you know how stiff they are and curly? Well, I just bent it and left it in a 90-degree angle, okay? And so I was like rummaging around, and it came down and like cut. It cut right underneath my eyelashes, like right there. Like I could feel it. It felt like a cut from shaving, and I was like, oh my God. Now, to be fair, these probably would not have protected me. Again, like, they need those little covers. But I'm thinking to myself, like, I know this is not a good example because you really need to be wearing safety glasses. But it was my understanding these are polycarbonate lenses. They have a UV coating on them that tends to honestly be pretty good. Like, I felt like I was having more eye strain before I started wearing these. So even like office lights and stuff seem a lot better. I wouldn't say a huge difference, but just enough to make it worth it. And I try to keep the lenses really clean because I can't stand looking through dirty safety glasses. Like, I don't see how people do it. It drives me up the wall to have stuff on my lenses, but there's some guys at work, and they were older. It's always the older guys that take care of their body. And it's like, why are you gonna wait till you're falling apart to take care of it? So I've tried to, yeah, what do you need, son? All right, come on over here. I'll show you what I'm doing.
Okay. Guess what, Dad?
Yeah.
I didn't get my... Dad, look. Look down. Ta-da!
Wow. Those are good. Those are good for mud. Those are good mud boots.
Yeah. I'm gonna wear these because the mud will get in.
Ooh, it's a little risky cutting those so close to that brick. I really like Spyderco's. This is This blade, you saw my short where I'm talking about how beneficial this blade profile is because it works so great on just quick pull through sharpeners. This is a great pocket version of like a kitchen knife, and they are a lot easier to sharpen, especially when they don't have like a big belly. Sheep's foot knife, that's another one I carry because those are super easy to sharpen. All right, we need to get this off of here. Sorry.
Okay, Dad. Got the blend.
Making you wobble. Okay.
The blend if you need it. If you need a blend, I got it over here.
Does anybody not use a Malco bit? I've tried the Klein ones, and personally, I hate them. And I don't know, like it never seems to keep its position when you put a bit in there, which defeats that whole function. And so now it's just a longer tool for no reason. I just have never been able to get the bit part to work out. Okay, let's see if this works here. It's been a while since I've used this thing, I think. I think this pushes it forward. Well, I'm worried about that snake getting up there because I'm going vertical instead of like down, and just getting rough and tearing up the guttering because this guttering is pretty old, and aluminum does crap out after a while. I don't want to put a hole in the guttering, so I got another idea. So I just learned that the gaskets in the pumps for the sprinkler systems, they use like some kind of a weird material gasket, like a fiber. But they actually have to leak and stay wet, and if they dry out, they'll fail. Like the water is the lubrication. But water, does resist displacement. Aaron, hey, hold this up in here, son. Okay, I'm gonna get this like this and this wrapped around. My son's gonna pull the It's an absolute mud pit because we have so much rain, but in this area we have a lot of plant diversity. So I don't know if you can see, I mean, there are just so many different species just in this one square. I mean, look at all the variation. So the rain is like, it's good, but it makes our basements mold, our HVAC mold. It's just a pain in the arse sometimes, but we need it. Okay, get that back up in there. Okay, I do want to take off this end right here. Gross. These things are never ready for conversion. I need, honestly need one dry and one designated wetback. Swapping out. Oh, man, them filters. God. I don't even think. Let's go, son. Okay, put this up in here. Okay, hold this, hold this, son. A little bit
Go away.
flow there. Oh,
Go away, chicken.
It is thundering.
Go away.
I'm gonna have to use this thing. Let's just see what happens. All right, so this is a pretty nice drain gun. They're very expensive. I got this when I was doing like self-employed property management type stuff. And I've cleared drains at like 12 o'clock at night. So I just broke down and bought this, even though it doesn't get a ton of use because I'm not a plumber. I mean, man, every time I get this out, it gets the job done. The only thing you have to watch out for, I wish I got this on camera actually, but I recently, like just a few days ago, cleared the kids' sink. And I had everything, I thought about everything. I was like, okay, tub is closed, toilet has water in it, lid is down, but I forgot about the overflow on the sink. When I went in there, bam, it like blew all this crap like right out into the, like, my daughter's makeup. This is so bad. But anyways, this is pretty clever. So the needle, I believe, is actually connected to an electrical circuit, and hopefully that's in frame. But it's going to go around, and the way they control pressure is very, very simple. The needle just makes the connection, and then the gun knows that it's at the pressure you set it at, all the way up to 50. So you go like this. It does really eat the batteries, so it's nice to have the bigger batteries. You can tell I'm a Milwaukee fan for sure. Let's see. Ooh. That's a good fit, but these things really shine. You need like water. So when the drain is backed up and actually full of water, that's when, you know, because air compresses and water doesn't. So all this air in here is gonna compress. I doubt it's gonna make it to the top with enough force. But this thing is like a gallo gun on steroids times 10. Okay, ready? Yeah. Oh, all right. Total fail. Let me show you. This is basically what's in that gutter. And it is so hard to clean out. Now, the leaves, not so much. But the little oak, like sperms or whatever, little freaking pistils. What are these things called? This is like the devil. It basically clogs up everything. But other than that, you know, in the rain and stuff, this area is second to only the rainforest in plant diversity. We have a couple other pretty cool species. We have bog turtles. So believe it or not, this is a funny story. All right, well, let me back up here and say the reason there's a population here is because we have all these like swamplands, and it's just so it's so wet around here. Well, the cows step in these marshes down in like the valleys of farmland, and they put holes, like, you know, real deep holes. I mean, the holes will be from, like, I can fit my fist in all the way up to, I mean, geez, they can be 8 inches thick or deep in some places. And the bog turtles live in those holes. Like, that's their microhabitat. It's like their little bubble they live in. And because developers started like just wiping out marshlands and wetlands as trash land, although regulations came in and really helped with that, like mitigation and stuff, but still, it's amazing how intricate the ecosystem is, and the fact that, you know, like, you need cows stepping in shit for turtles. It's crazy. But look up bog turtle. They have like a sort of, how would you describe it? Like a yellow or orange butterfly, like little stamp on the back of their head. And so I had done a lot of work with snapping turtles. taking their blood. I need to post some of the pictures if I can find them, but I was taking blood from like 40+ pound snapping turtles, and so I got really good at taking turtle blood. Now, it's not as easy as it sounds. Taking turtle blood, whew, it's tough. And at one time, I was called into the field to take bog turtle blood because I gotten so good at it. All right, I was defeated, but we gave it a good effort. Seeing a lot of red there. I do really like Milwaukee. That is a Harbor Freight special, cheapo. I got it back when they still had those like 20% off coupons and it was on sale. And anyways, it does a great job, but it doesn't have the oomph to go up vertically. It's such a bummer. I mean, man, I hate cleaning gutters. I want to take them off. See, I would love to take them off the house, but the problem is, in this area of the country, when our gutters aren't working right, like our brick cracks, our basements mold. I'm just fortunate to have this exposed, but normally like most of this is underground. It's just that like I've got a kind of a shitty lot. It sort of goes like, it's like right on a mountain sort of. So I'm just fortunate that this is out of the ground, but we get termites, we get mold, rot, like bugs. It's horrible. That is the one thing that I love about like the West. Man, Colorado. It's too much desert for my liking. I need, man, I mean, this is like the jungle. So just my take on a few random things. Boy. You know, it's tough working all week and then trying to do stuff. Man, just don't have the motivation for it. No, just kind of wasted this. But by the way, don't do this. This is not safe. There should be a GFCI upstream, completely upstream. However, I would like to have this discussion. Is it really not safe? I'm just asking. So I think it would be for sure. If the short was here, it would be majorly unsafe. Like if the short was here, I mean, that would kill you, probably. Especially if you're like because now you're the circuit. But if it shorted anywhere else, like just down in there, it would, like even if it was shorting right now and I step on it, it should go into the earth and not back into me. So I think where it really gets dangerous is like it shorts up high, and then you become the ground, like a super good ground. So, I am going to take that more seriously. Because, you know, I've never really thought about it, but have you ever been on a roof, like sweating, and grabbed 24 volts and it feels like 120? And it feels like 120 so much that you get your meter out and you measure it and you're like, what the fuck, 24? Like that thing lit me up. It's amazing the difference in conductivity. Like I've been shocked by all kinds of voltages. I mean, I got shocked off a transformer once, and a capacitor. So you're getting up there to like 400 volts, especially peak to peak. I mean, peak to peak, it's going to be 400 would be, like the RMS, and then peak to peak would be add 30% to that. So that's high voltage. I mean, but if your hands are dry and they're rough and like you're wearing big, thick insulated boots, it makes a huge difference. But on the contrary, you can have sweaty hands, so that's salt, and then have one hand on a piece of conduit touching 24 volts and it's like, bam! So yeah, that is pretty dumb. I do need to up my safety game. All right, well, this is what cleanup looks like in this part of the world. Why? These Tevas tend to be like pretty good sandals, you know? I like them a lot better than Chacos. I wouldn't say good foot protection, but man, go anywhere and they're so easy to clean.